Hey everybody, it's Jen. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys how we are using our 2021 vacation points with Disney Vacation Club. And I'm also going to share with you my tips and tricks for squeezing the last bit of value out of each and every point. And I'm really glad that you're here. So over the years, as I have gotten to know Disney Vacation Club members, I would say the one thing that is true across the board is that all of us really want to save money. It's why we joined DVC. It's incredibly important to us that we are getting a good value. So sometimes I feel there's this perception that we are just, putting our feet up at night on a coffee table made out of cash. The truth is most of us are people who really like staying at deluxe resorts and deluxe villas, but really can't afford to do that year after year. And we were on the hunt for a more economical way to stay in the deluxe resorts that we loved every single year. It is not an investment in terms of, you're going to get any money back out of it. I like to say it is an investment in your family's memories. And you really can't make the math work if you were to take this same amount of money and say invest it in the stock market. You will absolutely come out losing money. If, however, you look at it as prepaying for vacations that you would be taking anyway, and then you're actually saving money on those vacations, it can be a good value. Keep in mind, we are people who get, an owner's locker and put a crock pot in it. A lot of us cook in our villas. We are a frugal group of hardworking people, and we do this because we love Disney. We want to be able to go as often as possible, and we want to do it as economically as possible while still maintaining our, deluxe sensibilities. So every year, if you own Disney Vacation Club, you are allotted a certain amount of points, and that is called your use year. Now, my family's points load in December every year. So my 2021 use year actually goes from December to the end of November. So I'm going to give you my 3 top tips for getting the most value out of your points. Then I'm going to share with you exactly where we're staying with our points for the 2021 use year. And then finally, I'm going to get to the really fun part, and I'm going to add up how much those accommodations would cost us if we were paying rack rate. And that's every DVC member's favorite part of the process. I figure if you're watching this video, you are in one of 2 categories. Either you are seriously considering DVC, or you're an owner who is like me and just super curious about how other people spend their points. But kind of my 3 tried and true rules for getting the best value out of your points are as follows. Number 1, never let points expire. It happens every day, y'all, especially right now because of the great unpleasantness, and there were points that people just couldn't use. They didn't bank them in time. Disney has stopped being flexible with that. You really have to stay on top of the administration of your points so that you don't accidentally let points expire. There are a lot of different ways you can keep an eye on that when you log into your Disney Vacation Club dashboard, which I feel like is probably getting ready to look a lot different. They're doing a huge systems overhaul, which thank the Lord, because their online system has been a little lacking. But you can go on there and see exactly how many points you have right now, how many you have for next year, how many you have for the year after that, how many you've used, how many you can bank, how many you can borrow. And it really does help you manage your points. But if you lose track of it and you don't pay attention, you could potentially lose points. So rule number 1, don't let points expire. Rule number 2, and again, these are my rules. They don't have to be your rules, but one of my rules is stay during the cheapest season that you comfortably can. There are many seasons of points for Disney Vacation Club, and the point requirements per night can vary wildly between different seasons of the year. For instance, our family usually goes the second week of January. You go just a couple weeks prior to that and you're in the Christmas season, and it's almost double the amount of points per night. So you can really stretch those points by choosing to stay in a lesser point season. Now, I'm going to put some links down in the description box that will take you to currently what all of those seasons mean. Those are subject to change. However, Disney Disney can never change how many points are allocated for the entire year. Now, I'm not suggesting that you take your kids out of school if that doesn't work for you, or rearrange your entire life. But when you're doing your planning, it doesn't hurt to just look at that calendar and see, and just make sure that you are staying during an economical time of year if squeezing the last bit out of those points is important to you. Rule number 3, whenever possible, we stay Sunday through Thursday. And here's why. You will pay a lot more per night for a Friday or Saturday night than you will for a Sunday through Thursday. So a lot of times our family will stay Sunday through Thursday in a Disney Vacation Club villa. Then we may move to a cash reservation for Friday and Saturday. Sometimes we'll stay off property for Friday and Saturday. But those point requirements for Friday and Saturday nights are a lot of times about 40% higher than they are during the week. And I've known some members, particularly ones that maybe live in the UK and come for an extended period of time, that will stay Sunday through Thursday. They'll check out and stay maybe at Pop Century, or they'll stay off property. And then on Sunday, they'll check into their second resort. And it's kind of a fun way to see a couple of different resorts. I know a lot of people don't like to move, but again, remember, this video is about squeezing every bit of value out of each and every point. So limiting yourself to Sunday through Thursday is a great way to do that. Okay, now for the second part of this video, I'm going to share exactly how our family is choosing to use our points. One thing that I didn't get into in my 3 rules, because I feel like this is a decision that gets made when you're first deciding on which resort you want to be your home resort. The resorts vary wildly in points per night. So the Riviera, for example, is going to cost far more points per night for a studio than Old Key West. One of the reasons why Old Key West is our family's home resort is because of the great point requirements. You can many times of the year stay in a studio for only 10 points per night. And there are other resorts that I think are a great value as well, one of which I'm going to share we are staying in January. So when you log in, you see this screen that is your dashboard, and you can go to My Vacation Plans. We have 220 vacation points, okay? So that's what we get every single year. For 2021, I ended up with a few extra because we had some that we were able to bank because we weren't able to use them during the Great Unpleasantness. So when I add up how many points we used, it's going to be a little more than 220 because we did have those extra points from last year. So the very first one that we're going to see is, as I said, January at the Boardwalk Villas in a 1-bedroom garden pool view. I have found that the standard views are almost impossible to get at 7 months, which is when I'm able to book at other resorts that aren't Old Key West. But the garden pool view rooms are generally available, and that is because they are a little bit more point requirement per night. The 1-bedroom villa goes for 29 points Sunday through Thursday and 34 points for Friday or Saturday. So we have a Friday in there, so you add that up, and that's how you get to 179. Now, so that's our first vacation of the year, will be in January. Now, our second vacation of the year is going to be at Old Key West, which is our home resort. There is a strong possibility that I will try to change that. We love Old Key West, but this second vacation is most likely to be just Scott and I. We always like trying out different resorts, but if we end up staying at Old Key West, we will be completely happy with that. And that's important for this day because it is in a studio, and that's another top tip. Studios are much harder to get than 1-bedrooms or 2-bedrooms, and that's just because they are in highest demand. We prefer to stay in a 1-bedroom, but we were a little shy on points for that, and it was just going to be the 2 of us, so I didn't really want to borrow points for it. So we will be in a deluxe studio May 1st through 7th, and we are paying 65 vacation points for those 6 nights. I personally always love to stay in a 1-bedroom villa as opposed to a studio. I like having the washer and dryer. I like having the kitchen, and I still may go back and change that May reservation to being in a 1-bedroom. But if I do that, I'll have to borrow points from 2022, and I'm not entirely sure I want to do that. So we'll see how all of that works out. But we're great examples of people whose vacation needs are changing right now. We always went, all 5 of us, ever since we first bought our membership back in 2012. And now that our boys are graduating college and getting jobs, their availability is not the same anymore. So we don't need a 2-bedroom. We don't need a grand villa, at least not for the season we're in right now. Hopefully down the line, when they have significant others and, you know, Lord willing, I have grandchildren, that may shift back again, and we may absolutely need that grand villa. And I kind of already have that figured out in my brain, how we can do that every other year. But I like having a little fewer than what I need so that nothing ever expires. Because remember, rule number 1, don't ever let points expire. Okay, now on to the fun part. Let's look at, and I'm getting this information from Mouse Savers. So those 6 nights in January for a 1-bedroom villa, our rack rate for a standard view, and remember we have a garden view, but let's just go with standard view, is going to be just about $765 a night. So $765 times 6 nights. Now, would we be likely to pay rack rate for boardwalk villas? Probably not. I could definitely see us getting some kind of a discount, but let's, for the sake of argument, especially since I did the standard view instead of the garden view, let's just go with that number. Let's make it easy. The number I come up with is $4,590. Okay, so remember that. Now let's go look up our Old Key West rack rates. By the way, if you want to go look up the rack rates for any of the resorts, Mouse Savers has all of them listed. Okay, so for Old Key West, for my dates in May, for a deluxe studio, I'm looking at $495 per night. So if I do, so 4,590. Let's write that down because I'm not going to remember that. Okay, 4,590. So that is for our January trip. Let's see, for the May trip at Old Key West, rack rate would be $495 a night times 6 nights. So that vacation would be $2,970. So what we pay in dues every year, hold please. Okay, so we're paying $8.35 a point in dues. Now, granted, we used a little bit more because we pulled some over. So let's go ahead and run the math on all 244 points that we're using, okay? So we're using 244 points, and on each of those points, we have paid $8.35 in dues for a total of $2,037, okay? So we have one vacation at $4,590, one vacation at $2,970, and we paid $2,037.40 in dues. So let's add up $4,590 plus $2,970. So that equals $7,560 is what we would have spent if we booked those rooms rack rate, minus what we pay in dues, okay, because you're going to pay that every year. And that gives us a savings of $5,523, okay? So let's say that you paid, let's just say you bought all of your Old Key West points direct from Disney. It's currently $165 a point, and I think it's getting ready to go up. So let's say that you bought all of those 220 points direct from Disney. Your initial purchase price would have been $36,300. So if you take $36,300 and you divide 5,523 into that, you come up with 6.5 years, okay? So that's how much you've saved, and then your initial investment, and then that spread out over how many years. As I'm saying this, I know because so many of you guys who own DVC are math whizzes. I am not a math whiz. So those, you may see some differentials in those calculations. I may not be doing the math exactly right. You're welcome to share it in the comments. This is how I do the math. I don't think I'm wildly off. I might be off by some, but I don't think I'm wildly off. So since we paid cash for our contracts, our break-even point is about 6.5 years based on the way we vacation, right? If, however, you're paying interest, if you vacation differently than I do, if you purchased at a different resort that is higher points per night, or that was higher in terms of initial investment, or that maybe is even more expensive per night if you paid rack rate, your calculations may be different than mine. For me though, this is how the math checks out. So as I said at the beginning, you don't look at Disney Vacation Club as an investment. You look at it as a way to save money on vacations you were gonna take anyway. So you are literally prepaying for your vacations. So to the person who's like, but if you invested that money, it would grow, so you're actually losing all this money. I'm spending money that I already knew I was gonna spend on vacations. So it isn't like I'm taking money out of my 401k and my retirement in order to buy Disney Vacation Club. This is money that was allocated for vacations. Am I justifying it in my brain? Quite possibly. But for us, for our family, I can absolutely see the value in our Disney Vacation Club membership and how it actually does not only save us money, but allows us to stay in resorts that we really want to stay in for our vacation. Could we stay cheaper? Of course we could, but the way that we like to vacation is in a higher end deluxe hotel. And hopefully if you're looking into DVC, this gives you a realistic idea of how far you can stretch those actual points depending on what time of year, what type of accommodations, and what kind of resort you stay in. Whatever you're doing today, I hope you're being really good to each other. If you didn't already, please make sure you give this video a huge thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Have a great day and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.